Hello everyone and welcome to a book haul. All of these books are from Barnes & Noble and I can tell you why. So my birthday was on December 15th. You'll be seeing this one closer to Christmas, but my birthday was on the 15th of December. So my mom got me a gift card to Barnes & Noble and her boyfriend just gave me cash. So I went to Barnes & Noble, spent all the gift card, spent all the cash, and then spent an additional 50, just 50. So that's like either 2 hardback books or a hardback book and a paperback. So like basically additional 2 or 3 books from my own money. So I've got a lot of books to show you. The books that I got outside of this will be in their own little video. As far as like from book boxes, gifts from people, things like that. That'll be in its own separate book haul. So let's go ahead and get into this one. And these are in, well, I'm going to save the prettiest editions for last. So this first one I have was a complete cover buy because it's just, I don't know, it's just cute. And it's just dogs on the cover. But this was in the romance section and this is Heart on a Leash. Hello, Polly. Heart on a Leash by Alanna Martin. So there's the dogs. Anyway, okay. This one says, Taylor Lippin has made it her life's mission to leave her hometown and her family's ridiculous century-old feud, goodbye Polly, with the Porters behind. But when her sister needs help running the family inn, Taylor agrees to return to Helen, Alaska on a temporary, definitely not longer than 2 weeks, basis, or so she thinks, until she's quite literally swept off her feet and into enemy territory by 3 puppy huskies and their drool-worthy owner, Dr. Josh Crane. Though Josh didn't grow up in Helen with the rest of his Porter cousins, he's heard the stories. Porters rescue huskies. The Lippins are cat people. Keep to your pack. But Taylor is too tempting to give up. Plus, his dogs love her. As Taylor and Josh grow closer, tensions in the town escalate and the need for secrecy starts taking a toll. Soon, they'll need to decide whether their newfound love is just a summer fling or if they found their forever home. So it sounds cute. This is the first time I'm reading the synopsis on these. Well, for the most part, there's a few of them. Like my mom has no interest in romance books. Mystery, yes. So the mystery books that I have, I did read the synopsis for. Fantasy and science fiction, no. So there's only a couple. Cozy mysteries I did. So there's a few synopsises I have already read because I read them to her. I do have a couple of translated works, and I think they're all the translated ones I have are translated from Japanese. This first one is I Am a Cat by Soseki Natsume. And this one, it sounds like, from what I've read, is from the perspective of a cat, and I'm going to have to keep some tissues nearby because it sounds like it's going to be hard-hitting. Let's see. Richly allegorical and delightfully readable, I Am a Cat is the chronicle of an unloved, unwanted, wandering kitten who spends all his time observing human nature, from the dramas of businessmen and school teachers to the foibles of priests and potentates. From this unique perspective, the author offers a biting commentary shaped by his training in Chinese philosophy on the social upheaval of the Meiji era. So maybe this one was translated by Aiko Aito and Graham Wilson, but I don't know. Originally published in 3 volumes by Turtle Publishing in 1972. It says something about the Japan Quarterly. And Tuttle Publishing is in Japan, so I'm guessing it was originally written in Japanese. So, but I Am a Cat. Next I have a cozy mystery, and I did make sure when I was buying these that these were either the first book in a series or standalones. So, first in a series, In the Company of Witches by Auralee Wallace. For 400 years, the Warren witches have used their magic to quietly help the citizens of the sleepy New England town of Evenfall thrive. There's never been a problem they couldn't handle. Then Constantine Graves dies while staying at the witch's bed and breakfast. At first, it seems like an accident, but it soon becomes clear that there's something more sinister at work, and Aunt Nora is shaping up to be the prime suspect. There's nothing Bryn Warren wants more than to prove Nora's innocence, and it hurts knowing that even 2 years ago it might have been easier. Bryn, after all, is a witch of the dead. A witch who can commune with ghosts. But she hasn't used her powers since her husband died, and isn't even sure she still can. Bryn will just have to hope that her aunt's magic and her own investigative skills will lead her to answers, and maybe back to the gift she was ready to give up forever. Next, I have 6 Feet Deep Dish by Mindy Quigley. Starting to see the theme. Delilah O'Leary can't wait to open her new gourmet deep dish pizzeria in Jeneva Bay, Wisconsin. A charming resort town with a long history as a mobster's hideaway, millionaire's playground, and vacation mecca. Engaged to a hunk with a hefty trust fund, Delilah is poised to begin a life that's just about as delicious as one of her cheesy creations. Just before opening night, though, Delilah's plans for pizza perfection hit the skids when her fiancé dumps her and leaves her with a very large memento from their relationship, Butterball, their spoiled plus-size tabby cat. Delilah's trouble deepens when she discovers a dead body and finds her elderly aunt holding the murder weapon. Handsome local police detective Calvin Capone, great-grandson of the legendary gangster, opens an investigation, threatening to sink Delilah's pie-in-the-sky ambitions before they can even get off the ground. To save her aunt and get her pizza place generating some dough, Delilah must deliver the real killer. Another translated book is The Cat Who Saved Books by Soseki Natsukawa. This was translated by Louise Heel, I don't know how to say the last name, Kawai, but The Cat Who Saved Books. Awkward teenager Rintaro is about to close the second-hand bookshop he inherited from his beloved grandfather. But before the bookshop's doors close for good, a talking cat suddenly appears with an unusual request: Rintaro's help. The mission sends them on a cross-dimensional journey to save books from abusive and negligent owners, from a businessman who leaves his books to perish on a shelf, to a publishing drone who cares only about bestsellers. The adventures culminate in a final fantastic challenge, a labyrinth that leads Rintaro to a realm where a certain soul hangs in the balance. Was this... Okay, so the author is a doctor in Nagano, Japan. So, I'm sure it was translated from Japanese. Okay, this next one, also translated. Now, the one I saw for this one, it was facing out, and it turns out it was the second book in this series, but the first one was sitting right next to it, so I did get the first one, only the first one. It does say this is a Japanese bestseller, so I think all the ones that I got there translated or translated from Japanese. But this one is the Kamogawa Food Detectives. And look, another cat. So, this one says, what's the one dish you do anything to taste just one more time? I'm not sure what it would be for me. Not sure. Down a quiet back street in Kyoto exists a very special restaurant run by Koyoshi Kamogawa and her father, Nagari. The Kamogawa diner serves up deliciously extravagant meals, but that's not the main reason customers stop by. The father-daughter duo are food detectives. Hello. I got Polly here. Through ingenious investigations, they are able to recreate dishes from a person's treasured memories, dishes that may well hold the keys to unlocking their forgotten past and future happiness. The Restaurant of Lost Recipes provides a link to vanished moments, creating a present full of possibilities. So, next up, I've had my eye on this one because I really like the color combo of this one. And so I finally decided to get it since I had that gift card, and that is Masters of Death by Olivie Blake. At least I've heard that's how it's said. I could be wrong. There is a game that the immortals play. There is only one rule: don't lose. Viola Merrick is a struggling real estate agent and a vampire, but her biggest problem certainly is that the house she needs to sell is haunted. The ghost haunting the mansion has been murdered, and until he can solve the mystery of how he died, he refuses to move on. Fox de Maura is a medium, and though he is also most definitely a shameless fraud, he isn't entirely without his uses, seeing he's actually the godson of death, When Viola seeks out Fox to help her with the ghost infestation, he becomes inextricably involved in a quest that neither he nor Vi expects or wants. But with the help of an unruly poltergeist, a demonic personal trainer, and a sharp-voiced angel, a love-stricken reaper, and a few mindfulness practicing creatures, Vi and Fox soon discover that the difference between a mysterious lost love and an annoying dead body isn't nearly as distinct as they thought. This next one was in the sci-fi fantasy area. This one is The Bladed Faith by David Dalgish. Every shadow hides a truth. Every hero hides a lie. A usurped prince will take up the mantle of a deadly assassin to reclaim his kingdom, his people, and his slain gods in the explosive start, to this bestseller fantasy trilogy. Cyrus was 14 when his country was invaded, his gods slain, and his parents, the king and queen, beheaded in front of him. After years held prisoner in the invaders' court, a mysterious group of revolutionaries breaks him free and gives him the chance for revenge that he's always dreamed of. In exchange, he will become the figurehead of their rebellion. He will become a hero to unite the people and strike fear in the hearts of the Imperials. He will take up the skull mask and twin swords and become the legendary Vagrant, an unparalleled assassin of otherworldly skill. But not all is as it seems. Creating the illusion of a hero is the work of many, and Cyrus will soon discover the true price of his vengeance. Next up, this is a romance book, and I found it in the young adult section at Barnes & Noble, and this one says, Get Ready to Fall in Love. Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice by Katie Cicatelli-Kuc. I'm sure I said that wrong, but this is the book. Very much fall vibes. Lucy Kane hates pumpkin spice lattes, which is a problem because A, Lucy lives in the quaint New England town of Briar Glen, where everyone loves all things autumn, and B, she's a barista at her mom's coffee shop, Copo Joe. As the first fall leaves descend upon Briar Glen, Lucy and her mom gear up for a busy season. But then Java Junction, a multinational coffee chain, opens a store literally across the street, home of the world-famous pumpkin spice latte. To make matters worse, it turns out that Jack Harper, the new kid in school and Lucy's secret crush, is the son of the owners. Talk about mixing business with pleasure. If Copo Joe wants to survive the competition from Java Junction, Lucy will have to set aside her feelings for the popular drink and Jack to make this the coziest, pumpkin spiciest season ever. Now this next one is book number 6 in a series, and I actually have the whole series. I've only read the first book in the series, but I loved the writing in it, and I really look forward to getting to all of these. This one is an Never After novel, so these are fractured fairy tales. It's not a retelling. It's basically a reimagining, and this one gives me Little Mermaid vibes, and this is Hexed, and this is very much an adult series. This is an adult romance, and the author is Emily McIntire. Love the cover. He's the prince of La Cosa Nostra. She's the witch who steals his heart. Vanessa Anderson has never been good. She wasn't good enough for her parents, and she isn't good enough for the gangster uncle who took her in after they died. But she's cunning, beautiful, dutiful to her uncle's demands, and she doesn't have time for a moral compass anyway. When her runaway cousin returns to their coastal southern town, she brings a man with her, and Vanessa soon realizes he's the only one who's ever seen her for her. There's just one problem. She can never have him. Enzo Loverboy Marino is a wealthy businessman by day and prince of the underworld by night. Underboss to a notorious mafia syndicate, he answers to no one except his father, the strongest don in the Northeast. When he's tasked with marriage, Enzo doesn't think twice, until he meets his fiance's cousin. Vanessa is everything he never knew he wanted, bewitching him with her sultry voice and supple curves. But Enzo learned long ago that for a man like him, life is better without the things you want. When plans unravel and temptation sings its siren song, they'll both have to choose what's more important, duty to their families or a forbidden love that was never supposed to be. So it gives me Little Mermaid vibes, but it sounds like it's from the perspective of maybe like Ursula. Who knows? Okay, and the last one, not in this video, but from the bag I held up, is Wool. This is Silo Series book number 1 by Hugh Howey. The first book in the acclaimed New York Times bestselling trilogy, The Silo Saga. Wool is the story of mankind clawing for survival. The world outside has grown toxic. The view of it limited. Talk of it forbidden. The remnants of humanity live underground in a single silo, but there are always those who hope, who dream. These are the dangerous people, the residents who infect others with their optimism. Their punishment is simple. They are given the very thing they want. They are allowed to go outside. After the previous sheriff leaves the silo in a terrifying ritual, Juliet, a mechanic from the down deep, is suddenly and inexplicably promoted to the head of law enforcement. With newfound power and with little regard for the customs she is supposed to abide, Juliet uncovers hints of a sinister conspiracy. Tugging this thread may uncover the truth, or it could kill every last human alive. So, because I am a member at Barnes & Noble, I got a free gift with purchase. And I will show, I'm just getting this plastic wrap, getting it out of the plastic wrap. And it is book plate sticker labels, 8 assorted sizes and unique designs, 80 custom labels. So I do have a stamp that I use, but I'll use these too. So I will alternate. So this book belongs to From the Library of. So yeah, I will definitely use this. So the next 3 I'm going to show you are graphic novels or mangas. And this one is volume 1, and what drew me in was this cat right on the cover. It's also on the back. And this one is Morgana and Oz by Miyuli. And then if you just flip through, so the cat, there's cats throughout this, looks like. Although now that I'm flipping through, I'm not seeing it as much as I did, but cats. So, Morgana and Oz. Morgana Winterberry belongs to a long line of witches, and Oz to the rival vampire clan. When their families get together to negotiate a peace after years of conflict, things go catastrophically wrong. The vampires accuse the witches of poisoning them and using dark magic. There's a magical explosion. Morgana's grandfather goes missing, and Morgana might have accidentally transformed Oz into a cat. Now Morgana needs to figure out how to turn Oz back, all while untangling the mysteries behind the family's conflict. If she can't, things are going to get bloody. Okay, these are the type. My mom's not interested in any of these, so these are definitely all the books. Yes, all the books in this stack from this point forward, except for one. Only one I read the synopsis for. The rest she had no interest in. Okay. These next 2 are part of a series, and there's only 2 out in this series thus far. I don't know if it's only going to be a duology or if there will be more. And this is Monster Cats by Pandania. So Monster Cats Volume 1 and Volume 2. Is it a banshee, a yeti, a gorgon, or a cat? Monster cats are a perfect new breed of familiar furry friends crossed with freaky fun. If you think life with regular cats can get complicated, wait till you see what it's like for people who live with these charming supernatural pets. And then just spend more time with these monster pets, supernatural pets. So, Monster Cats 1 and 2. And it's actually book 2 that drew me in because book 2 has a black cat on the cover. This one does not have an animal on the cover, so I'm guessing the cat will come in later. But this is a cozy mystery, and this one is Tea and Treachery. So I only went with the first book just to make sure I like the writing and everything. So this is written by Vicki Delany. As the proud proprietor and head pastry chef of Tea by the Sea, a traditional English tea room on the picturesque bluffs of Cape Cod, Lily Roberts has her hands full, often literally. But nothing keeps her busier than steering her sassy grandmother, Rose, away from trouble. Rose operates the grand old Victorian B&B adjacent to Lily's tea shop. But an aggressive real estate developer, Jack Ford, is pushing hard to rezone nearby land, with an eye toward building a sprawling golf resort, which would drive Rosie and Lily out of business. Tempers are already steaming, but things really get sticky when Ford is found dead at the foot of Rose's property, and the police think she had something to do with his dramatic demise. So Lily starts her own investigation and discovers Ford's been brewing bad blood all over town. Now it's down to Lily to stir up some clues, shift through the suspects, and uncover the real killer before Rose is left holding the tea bag. Next up is Hunted by Darcy Coates. So the rest of this book in the books in this series, this will be the first time I'm reading the synopsis on these. It's Darcy Coates. I like the writing, and this one looked intriguing. So her disappearance wasn't an accident. Her rescue will be a mistake. 5 days after Eileen Hirschberger went missing on a hike through the remote Ashlow Forest, her camera was discovered washed downriver, containing bizarre photos taken hours after her disappearance. But with no body and no additional clues, finding Eileen in the dark and winding woods seems next to impossible. Chris wants to believe his sister is still alive. When the police search is abandoned, he and 4 of his friends vow to scour the mountain range until they find Eileen and bring her home. But as a small group strays further from the trails and the unsettling discoveries mount, they begin to realize they are not alone, and Eileen's disappearance was no accident. But by then, it's already too late. These next 2 I will show you are from the romance section of Barnes & Noble. And this is Mine for a Moment by Catharina Maura? Not quite sure. Let's see. When the man she's always been in love with starts dating one of her friends, artist Serenity Edsina creates a to-do list that will help her get over him once and for all. The first item on the list, losing her virginity to Archer Harrison, her older brother's billionaire best friend, and her boss. He's the perfect choice, alluring, caring, and entirely emotionally unavailable. Their deal was supposed to be simple. Serenity will paint Archer anything he wants in return for a secret, no strings attached relationship. Except each kiss leaves them both wanting more, tempting them to risk it all for what's growing between them. That is, until a cruel twist of fate shows them that giving in to their feelings comes at a far higher cost than they could have imagined. Next up, I love the cover on this one, and looks like it's part of the Sparrow Falls series. This is book number 1. I did verify that, and this one is Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles. It's the same top and bottom, but love the cover. That's the back. The scowl should have been my first clue to stay away from Anson Hunt. The sexy smirk and the fact that he's my brother's best friend. Reasons 2 and 3. Not to mention, he's the new contractor working on my house. He's everything I'm not. Grumpy, rude, and more than a little attached to his solitude. It doesn't matter how many times I try to kill him with kindness. The man simply won't crack. Until he sees me shatter. Because when my world comes crashing down around me, Anson is the one catching me as I fall. And as so-called accidents start plaguing every part of my life, it's Anson who steps in to keep me safe. As he does, I can't help but feel a flicker of heat. And it only takes a single moment for that spark to ignite into flames, engulfing us both. But Anson's a man with secrets, and they have a price. When they're revealed, neither of us will make it out unscathed. Now the last 3 I am going to show you, I'm just taking the Barnes & Noble exclusive sticker off of this one. They're all special editions, these last 3 books. This one is The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Quote on the back says, "The thing about books," she said, "is that they help you to imagine a life bigger and better than you could have ever dreamed." It's the spine. Does have a golden attached bookmark. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I've got a cat hair on it. Okay. It says, on a quiet street in Dublin, a lost bookshop is waiting to be found. For too long, Opaline, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. And by unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transported to a world of wonder where nothing is as it seems. The back end pages are the same, but under the dust jacket on the back, the front, so here's the side, and the front says, "He always said that books were more than words on paper. They were portals to other places, other lives." Beautiful book. Next up, I have A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. But if fairies and monsters were real, so were the women who defeated them. Another book, stenciled edges, except the books just go all the way around on this one. Let's see. It began as all things did. A girl on the shore, terrified and desirous. Effie Sayer has always believed in fairy tales. Even though, crumbling under the pressure of her first term at college, she can't always seem to tell the difference between fact and fiction. Her only solace has been Angard, an epic from Larian, national hero and author Emery's Meriden. Taken by chance and maybe fate to the late author's estate, she is intent on finding the purpose to her own story, but instead stumbles upon Preston Hilore, a scholar from the Literature College. Preston has come to Hirith Manor determined to prove Effie's favorite author is a fraud, and her only hope of proving him wrong is to conspire with him. But Hirith, perched on the very edge of a wrathful ocean, holds dark secrets, the likes of which both Effie and Preston, though thought only existed in the pages of Meriden's stories. The house and the truth might just ruin them both, and the sea threatens to swallow it, them and their stories whole. It says part historical fantasy, part rivals to lovers romance, and part gothic mystery. This feminist fairy tale has captivated readers with its haunting dreamlike atmosphere. There's the end pages. It's the same on the back. Yep. And nothing on the back, but the spine has leaves and a key there, and then the front as well. So another beautiful edition. I am on the last book in this particular video, and this one is The Perfect Marriage by Jeneva Rose. Blood stenciled edges. Nothing on the bottom, I think. Yeah. This one says, okay, so this one is the first in a series. It looks like book number 2 is called The Perfect Divorce, but this one's The Perfect Marriage. Sarah Morgan is one of the best criminal defense attorneys in Washington, D.C., with a perfect case record and having made named partner before the age of 35. Her life is going exactly as she planned. However, the same cannot be said for her husband, Adam, a failed author who's grown to resent his wife's meteoric success as he feels it's come at the expense of their relationship. For almost 2 years, Adam has kept his affair with Kelly Summers a secret, but everything changes when her body is discovered at the couple's lake house and Adam is arrested on suspicion of murder. Sarah now finds herself facing her most challenging case yet when she vows to defend her husband, a man accused of murdering his mistress. While Adam is certainly guilty of sleeping with Kelly, the question remains, is he guilty of killing her too? So I'm going to take the dust jacket off. There's the end pages. Same on the back. Yeah, same on the back. Now this wraps around. Look at that. Bloody freaking handprint there. And then there's the cover. The Perfect Marriage Collector's Edition from the Vault of Jeneva Rose. But that handprint Anyway, so that is it. Those are all of the books that I got from Barnes & Noble for my birthday, from cash from my mom's boyfriend, and then the gift card that my mom got me, and then just spending an extra $50 of my own money. So basically, out of my own money, I got this book, because this one was $32, I think. Yeah, $32, and then like a paperback book. So that is it. Let me know, have you read any of these books? Have you read from any of these authors? Definitely let me know. Out of all of these books, is there one that the cover intrigues you the most or the synopsis intrigues you the most? Definitely let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.